Hey guys, my name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions.
3 newlywed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, girls.
Happy Monday. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm good. How are you? Caitlin's probably doing the best. Where are you about to go, Kate?
Italia.
Some pasta.
Maybe with a little more.
Zambasta. Red wine. Pizza. Lizzie McGuire.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Facts, though.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah, going to Italy in a couple days. Not ready.
Meh. Yo.
That doesn't sound like you.
I know that it doesn't.
It happened, though.
Which makes the situation quite stressful.
She's like, can we actually change the subject?
Yeah, I was thinking earlier about my stress level, and I was like, I am actually curious, when was the last time that I felt this like unprepared, this stressed? And I think it was the wedding.
But that turned out so well. So, I mean, like...
Yeah, it'll be
all
fine.
good.
It'll be fine. I just feel like there's a lot of
Overwhelmed.
responsibility.
Yeah.
So...
Get to the airport early. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, Mary Lily's advice.
Check which airport you're at.
Check the airport.
Jesus.
I know.
Please make sure you're at the right one.
Great. Thankfully, Charlotte only has one.
Oh my God. Whatever.
But great travel tips. Thank you. We will
It's a good one.
keep following along.
Yeah. For more travel tips by Mary Lily.
Yeah. Don't travel.
Stay at home.
Yeah.
Try to avoid planes that aren't private.
Well, kind of made me think back on wedding planning, of the stress and
The excitement and all of the adrenaline that's kind of coursing through you. And then,
Lots of emotions.
yeah, just a few days later, it's
Over.
on to the next.
on to the next. Yeah.
Your old news.
You're just a wife
I know
now.
you've been
Someone told me
obsessing
that.
over this for the past
But
9
yes,
months. It doesn't matter.
At my old job, they're like, they saw that I was engaged. They're like, when's the wedding? I was telling her, and they're like, well, enjoy it now, because once you're married, you're just a wife and you're just like the rest of us and you're not special anymore. And I was like, damn.
It is like,
Okay.
it's like the hard truth though.
Yeah.
Because
Hard
like you
truth.
go from like 12 months where everyone's asking you a
All the
question
questions
every
they care
day.
about you.
Yeah. And then like
They're
the next day they're
interested.
like, hey, have you heard about so-and-so? What are you going to wear to that? And you're like, excuse me,
Like, I'm still having my
I
moment.
just birthed
I'm a
my
wife.
wedding.
Yeah.
I feel like I just gave birth to this event. And like,
Yeah,
now
you're
you're not
moving
even
on.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Someone else's
feeling
Turn.
is somebody else's turn. The
It's not
feelings.
jealousy or irregular.
Yeah. There's a lot of intense feelings leading up to the wedding, and then the wedding day happens, and it can lead to kind of like an emptiness and just like a sad and like, what's next?
Well, it's such a high to see all of those people and to like be so celebrated and like have your love feel celebrated. And also like Matthew and I then went on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everyone was still excited that we were on our honeymoon, and we got our pictures while we were on our honeymoon
Yeah.
too. So it was like all this stuff like jam packed into it. And then it was like silence when I got home. Like,
Yeah.
And
It's
it
like
was a
just
lot
back
of
to the
work.
grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were so busy at work. There wasn't like any time for me to, I feel like, be like back to normal. It was like, nope, like you're so busy.
You're thrown back in
You're
to the real
booked
world.
and busy. You're not
Yeah.
a bride anymore.
And when people are like texting you, it's not to ask you about like, how is anything? It's like, oh,
it's like,
this
yeah,
is due.
Venmo
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's like back to normal.
It is.
And so if you've gotten married and are feeling like a little sad or just like, you know, blue and like the excitement is over, you're definitely not alone. So let's talk a little bit about like, where do the post-wedding blues actually come from? So there's a few different things. And honestly, I think it can come from overlap of these as well, of like relief that all of the planning stress is through.
Yeah.
It could be, missing having your closest friends and family. And Mary Lou, as you said, like the excitement.
Well, and all the stress, you also get used to it being in your life. Like I
chaos,
remember you're like calling your mom, like everything's the end of the world. Like, I mean, you heard me on some of these podcast episodes, like losing it. So like to go from like that, like you're like in this like intense pressure cooker, I feel like almost every day the last 3 months up until, and then to like just be like, nope, there's none of that. Like you didn't, it's just like a night and day.
It's almost like your life is boring or something. Like it's not.
It's
but
like just like,
it's
there's nothing big to look forward to.
Yeah. It's just calm waters.
It's like when you get in that relationship with that guy that you don't really like in like high school. And you're like, this is getting boring. Like I'm going to start.
Mary Lily feels about marriage.
I'm going to start a fight.
So yeah, it can come from that, I suppose. It can come from feeling bummed that like the honeymoon is over, as we kind of talked about, and just like this like abstract sense of like what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Because I feel like the whole year you're like, have this goal, you have this date. That's why it's like so much easier to like lose weight and all of that stuff because you're motivated by this one date.
Yes.
But like now it's just like the rest of your life. So like, what are we chasing?
Yeah.
So that's one of my pro tips is to make plans. So you have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Make trips, even if it's just like a weekend trip, like don't just like fall into the
routine
because it can be hard at first.
And I know you're all trying to save money right after your wedding. Like you've just like,
you've spent your like life saving.
Yeah. So it's hard to like do all of this stuff. But I think like finding ways to prioritize like your relationship and like your mental health. Like I remember I would reach out to you guys like right after and like I'd be like, is this weird that I like kind of want to kill a few people? And you guys were like, no.
Yeah.
You're like, that's so
it's
normal.
It's like finding like community in a sense. And I mean, you've gone through a major life milestone. And so feeling a little anxious with like all of the change going on too, it's like, it's a new family in a sense.
Yeah.
It's more permanent.
Finally created your nuclear family. Like your parents are no longer technically your immediate family.
Yeah.
They're your extended. I had a really hard time with too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. And then
you're like creating your own traditions and stuff. It's a lot of new.
And you have to like really compromise. Before you could be like, well, we'll like split up for the holidays, like NVD.
Yeah, be like, I'll go to my parents and you go to your parents. Like they're your family. And it's not
there's no
together.
You're a unit now. Yeah.
You have been a unit before, but like it is just this
It's
overwhelming feeling.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it can be just the changes, new last name. Maybe you've moved. Marshall, I know you did that right after, new in-laws, and just like overall new relationship status. I know I've talked to a few people and they say after they get married versus getting engaged, saying fiance was so easy. And then like the shift to, oh, my husband is a little harder.
Oh, it's easier for me to say husband.
Than fiance was hard for me because I don't know, I feel like it sounded pretentious. I always said my boyfriend.
I always either said this is my boyfriend or I would call him my husband before we were married.
But I do remember like
fiance was not for me. I'm like, this is too temporary.
Feel weird. I kind of forgot at first that like that's what he was. So I slipped up as a boyfriend a lot.
That like he's my husband. I feel like I forget that I have a different last name though.
Yeah. I'm 9 months out and I have caught myself introducing myself with the wrong last name.
Like I don't feel like necessarily attached to my new last name yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how long does it take,
I think
like
it
a new
depends
identity.
on if you really wanted to like get rid of your last name or not. Like some people don't love their last name.
I feel like I was neither here nor there, but it just doesn't feel like anyone's ever going to call me Mary Lily personally in my life.
They will.
They will eventually. So I feel like especially when you have kids and stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that might be if like you choose to have children, not you, because I know you want like a ton, but like if you choose to have children, I feel like that's another way to like, if you're weird about your last name, like your new last name, to make it feel like yours. Like whereas like you're all like a family.
Well, everyone, I feel like the name change is like a big thing. We could do a whole episode on it, but
it's just a lot of changes. And even though it's like you're engaged and you're planning the wedding and like that's a long time you
But then you go to
months.
having all of this quiet, just like we talked about.
Yeah. It's all of the quiet. And that's like exactly what post-wedding blues are. It's like the experience of a period of letdown after the excitement of planning a wedding. And it can bring out feelings of like sadness, boredom, lethargy, loneliness, and isolation.
Yep. I had those.
And then one other thing to just like note is like bride as a wife, I guess. Wives experience this. Grooms also are like reported experiencing this, and then also parents. But like the sadness.
Varying, probably.
Yeah. So for the two of you, I guess round table, who had post-wedding blues?
Me.
Yeah, I did. And I think also like I was super hard on myself after the wedding too, which we don't talk about because like I got my pictures back on my honeymoon. Like I was just like scouring them. And then like we of course follow so many wedding accounts.
Right.
And as like a bride, I followed so many wedding accounts and we're talking about weddings. So I feel like right after my wedding was done, I was like, oh, well, they did that. Like, should you have done that? Like
The comparison.
Yes. Like I started the comparison game, whereas like before like my wedding, I was like, it's going to be the best wedding. I don't even care if someone else's wedding is different.
Right.
And then I came home and I was like,
Did I miss something?
yeah. And so I feel like that was like another part of it is like, because life does go on and it is quiet. And then you do see all these people's weddings and all your friends who were literally at your wedding saying, oh my God, they're having this best time.
Yeah.
Are literally putting up another bride and they're like cutest bride ever. And you're like, so are you lying?
So was I not?
Were you lying?
Yeah.
Name them.
Name 'em.
Now we know Mary Lily's inner psyche.
That's just a brief little snippet of what she deals with on a daily basis.
So Marshall, you also experienced it.
Yeah, it was, so moving in with Gil afterwards and then not really, I guess in my head, I was like, I don't have anything, to look forward to. We did have our honeymoon the next year, but I got to where I really enjoyed planning my wedding. Like once I had my planner and everything, I really enjoyed it. Like I thought it was fun. I loved working with all my vendors and it was a really fun time for me and my mom together too.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I kind of still felt like a child in a way.
Yeah.
Like that, like I was like almost getting this big birthday party or something.
I feel like it does feel like
no
that with your
responsibility.
parents.
Exactly.
It's like,
It was so fun for me. And then it's like, come back from our mini moon.
Especially now that we're getting older and we have had that gap in our parents taking care of us.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like back in the day, they probably didn't. But now it was like so nurturing to
It
like do
was.
it.
It was like you could go back to like being under their wing, kind of.
Yeah.
being a huge brat.
Right.
And
And like
made
getting
it-
your way.
yeah.
But then it's like I moved in with Gil, the wedding's over, the mini moon's over. And now I'm like a wife and I feel like I'm like this adult, like I have to like cook for my husband and like have this household. And I also just felt like I didn't super enjoy it at first.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty because I was like, I just wanted to be married for so long.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and
Right.
now I don't love this
it.
moment.
I felt so
And I felt
guilty too. I felt like I'm like, why are you not grateful, Mary Lou? Like you
Yes.
just had the best wedding. You're
Yeah.
like so awful.
That's how I felt too. I was like, all these people came out to support you, like all this stuff, like all your friends, your family. And then it's like, now I'm just sad because it's like, and in your head, you're kind of like, I'm sad because it's not all about me anymore, but that's really just the tip of it.
Yeah.
At least for me, it was like just a lot. It's a lot of changes. It's
a lot
and
of
I feel
change.
like we're hard on ourselves and it's just like, give yourself a moment to adjust. It's a lot.
It's interesting because I don't feel like I really had like sadness about the wedding itself of like, oh, it's over or like, because it did continue on and it was an interesting time because I did get laid off before the wedding.
Right.
And it was leading up to Christmas. My grandmother was like in and out of the hospital, not good. So like life was just chaotic. And so it was almost like looking back on the wedding was like the highlight.
Right.
And it was like the hopeful
Or the
part of it.
fun
Yeah.
thing to reminisce
Yeah.
and talk about at the time. It was the
And-
happy thing.
Yeah. But it was the change of like, it just felt like Kyle and I had been living together, but it felt like a different kind of responsibility
Yes.
put on myself of like, in the compromise. I mean, we lived together and compromise was always there.
Right.
But it did feel like we were married and it was like, whoa, we just like
felt
turned
a
it up.
shackle.
Yes.
I'm like, now I realize why boys were so afraid of commitment. Whereas like Matthew was like kicking his feet up. He was like so ready. I'm like, oh my God, now I understand why you were terrified to get a girlfriend. This is terrifying.
It's a lot. And it's like, I don't really feel like people talk about it because I don't know, I guess it was probably taboo for a bit. Like, it's like, you should be happy. Like, you're married. You got what you wanted. But
Right. Get pregnant.
yeah, they're like, and then, they're like, when are you having a baby? But for me, it was also the compromise, but the sharing. Like, I went from literally like having, like, I didn't live alone, but like, I mean, I had my own room. I had my own bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, this is clearly mine. Like, I'm like, why are you using that? Like, that blanket's mine. Like, don't eat that. Eat your hot sauce with that on. Like, what are you doing? And I feel like I remember like talking to my mother-in-law about this. Gil like has never had a problem with like sharing. Him and his siblings shared, so much growing up. Me and John Philip did not share. Like, we
Marsh was talking to her in-laws like, why did you teach him to share?
But I was just like, that was another,
it's
like,
different.
It's different. It's like, this is my husband. Of course I have to share with him.
Well, it's like once you're like, you've made that switch in your mind, you're like, oh my God, you're my husband and you do this.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, this is permanent. And then I do like, it's like the family dynamics. It's like, this is your in-laws are your family now. And
I was also like, they're my parents. Like, don't think you can talk to them. Don't think
Yeah.
they like you more than me.
I know.
but it is like, oh yeah, like this is permanent.
And the family dynamics change not only for you, but like your, like, at least like my mom, she now, like, when, we're married, she buys the gifts, like the Christmas gifts, like they're to John Philip and Anna, me and Gil. And we like, she's like, whatever I spend on you, I'm going to spend on Gil. And I was like, no. You don't have to do that. Like, I'm your daughter. Like, what do you mean? And then it's like everyone else was getting it and I wasn't getting it. Like, I just thought like I got married, moved in with Gil, and then it's like everything was going to stay the same.
Yeah. And then it's like, whoa.
And then it didn't. And I was like devastated.
Even more sad.
It took me a while to cope.
Yeah. So how long did you feel like your post-wedding blues lasted?
Mine probably lasted a couple months.
I feel like mine was like 2 months, especially because it was summer. Like also like we had our wedding, I feel like at the beginning of summer. And so like, and then we went right on our honeymoon and everyone else then like was vacationing.
It was busy
and we
summer.
had just came home to like, no one was home. Everyone was out vacationing. We had just spent all of our pennies.
Yeah.
I was like, is this supposed to be fun? Because it's not.
No, that's so true though. Like how poor you are when you come back and you're just like, I guess we won't be going on like really expensive date nights to like, make us happy. But we had Christmas, like we got home and then it was Thanksgiving and then it was Christmas. And so I feel like that was no. Thanksgiving was fine because we had our plans set out like before, but Christmas, it's the compromise again. It's like
I cried on Christmas Day.
It's hard because it's like, also when you don't get married at 23 or 22, like, and you're like,
you're used to your ways.
You are. And I was like, I've been spending Christmas with my family for however many years. And I was like, are you telling me I need to not do that?
Yeah. Are you telling me to shun them?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
You're
what
like,
it
you
feels
hate
like.
them?
Like, do you hate my family? That's what it felt like. And the amount of times I said that too.
So my parents like literally live 6 minutes from us. I've always spent like pretty much the entire week of Christmas at their house, as much time as I can.
Yeah.
And the night before, Kyle was like, I think we should have our own family like time and Christmas morning. We should like do our gifts together and then we can go over to your parents. And my family opened, mind you, I also like help navigate everybody's gifts.
Yeah.
And so I'm like coordinating the list of like,
Mind you.
you're getting, so I'm like, I'm invested
active part.
in, I know what
you.
everybody's getting.
Right.
And so I want to be a part of it. And they opened gifts without me.
Mind you.
No,
I walked in and I just started crying.
Oh, you're like, did everyone like what I got you?
Yeah. I was like, Mom, how was that painting? Like, are you shitting me?
Did you get mad at Kyle?
Yeah, I was pissed. We fought.
on Christmas.
Because I was like,
that happens.
it does.
because I was like, okay, so I know we're going to your family the following year. Should we get a hotel room and stay away from your family the night before?
You're like, actually, I want to have a seance. You're like, you wanted to have your tradition? I'll show you mine.
We're making a new tradition
Yeah, I was like, so
you go in the middle of a cornfield.
with a Ouija board.
I was like, so we're not going to we'll go there for that week, but then the night before we'll just go somewhere else. Like, is that how that works?
You have to go to midnight mass.
Oh no, I had a list of,
I was like, here are my demands if I'm getting on this flight.
oh no, a 16-hour drive.
Oh,
if I'm driving,
you better have a lot of demands.
the list is long. The list is long.
Are you staying the night somewhere?
In Kansas? Oh,
Or like halfway or something.
yeah. We actually brought that up the other day. We did Nashville the one
Kyle
time.
actually has gotten a camper that hooks onto the top of his truck bed, and Caitlin and him are going to sleep in that.
I would die. He asked the other day if he should get something to enclose the thing for the dogs. And I said, are you kidding? The dogs
sleeping
cannot.
outside?
Are you kidding? My dog cannot survive in those elements.
I'd be like, you can be back there.
Yeah, like hire a driver. Somebody else can.
Yeah.
Caitlin's like, redo a Sprinter van and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the above. None of the above.
None of this is up to my standards, okay? Like,
Yeah.
this is not happening.
So yeah, we fought, we cried. I cried.
I cried a lot those first couple months, more than I probably have cried.
Holidays
ever.
are like so emotional though,
Yeah.
too.
The
And my
holidays
mom
are.
did tell me, she was like, that holidays is hard in general, but it's especially hard when you're newlyweds and when your families are hours apart.
Also, like, your families don't really know each other yet. Like, maybe they like got the vibes of what each other's traditions were, but like, this
they
is the
probably are
first
gonna-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're
Yeah.
really learning like where their child is going to be like
Yeah.
on holidays. So I feel like that's like a different thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait for the holidays because we're definitely talking about them. And I have a list of questions.
I can't wait for the holidays for
me
presents.
to personally submit to this podcast.
Specifically, I can't wait till the holiday for presents.
But Caitlin's excited for the podcast.
I'm excited for the podcast.
Christmas cheer.
Christmas cheer. Okay, so were there any things that made it better or worse, like rewatching your wedding video, looking at the wedding album, looking at or planning date nights, anything like that?
I'm glad my wedding like video came way later. I feel like I watched it and I was like, oh, like that was a fun time.
Yeah. I don't really know how I snapped out of it. I think just it started getting easier.
Yeah, I feel like it started feeling normal.
Yeah. I think it just took a while.
I'm just terrible at change.
Yeah, I'm not super great
most
with it
people
either.
are.
And it was nice that I was able to like vent to my mom, but she didn't hold it against me, and she didn't she wasn't like, she just listened. And
Yeah.
it was nice that, and usually she does not just listen. She likes to give
advice.
lots of advice, unsolicited advice, but she's like, the first.
And we don't appreciate it. Just letting you know.
We don't appreciate any other unveiled opinions, just ours.
You cannot have unsolicited advice from anyone. But that was really helpful that she just would listen, and she was like, yeah, the first year, sometimes 2 years can be really hard.
Yeah.
Like what her telling me like what I was feeling was normal was very helpful.
Well, I do think people say, and I've asked other people, they say the first 2 years of marriage are the hardest. Yeah. And I think that's like, I forgot about that until right now.
Yeah, no, I heard that too. And I will say what wasn't helpful was when you are on social media and you'll see people and you're like, I don't know why people say that marriage is work. It's not work. You're with I've seen so many
I thank God I haven't seen that. I would literally be like, you're
We
the
have different algorithms, I think.
dumbest person I know.
those people got blocked because I was like, well, great, I guess I'm doing everything wrong. Because this is not fun for me. But
that's a lie.
Having someone listen and tell you that it's normal is very helpful.
I agree. Kind of why we started the pod.
Yeah. And one thing that my mom and I did one day was when I saved all of our registry gifts and to turn over our place settings and plates. I don't know why I can't think of any words. Until after the wedding, everything was opened. And so she came over and kind of helped me rework the kitchen a little bit and the flow. And so that was very fun too. And
That I
That's
think
true.
would have helped me. It's we came back and my condominium was so cramped and there were just boxes everywhere.
It was
and
a mess. Yeah.
I couldn't move anywhere. And that also I feel contributed
Stress. To the
I'm
stress.
I have so much stuff. I don't even know where to put it. And my parents were like, all your registry gifts are at the house. When are you going to come get them? I'm like,
you're like,
not
you
anytime
can
soon.
keep them there for now.
Yeah.
I'm like, which ones are still boxed? Bring them
Yeah.
to the storage unit.
yeah.
Toss them in.
But definitely tips, just having something to look forward to and like trying to elevate your routine.
Right. I think also like have a small schedule when you get back, because there are all these things like thank you notes and like this stuff that you do have to do, but you're kind of like just thrown back into chaos.
Yeah.
So like if you can like give yourself a few days off after the honeymoon or something, but then like maybe make a little set of goals just to like get you going, I think,
And it can be stuff like we did do that where it was like, let's get all the registry, gifts open. Let's in our place, or
and you have to get like your bank accounts with your husband.
No,
like there's so much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
Start
so many
changing
things
your
to do.
name, and it kind of feels like overwhelming. Then there's all these mementos you want to do from the wedding. You want to make your wedding album.
Yeah.
Like, I have extra fabric that everyone on TikTok says I need to make into a scrunchie from my dress. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just have like this list of stuff, and I'm like, well,
it's kind of nice. Like have some things planned to do, even if that's not like a trip, but just like little things. Like Gil and I like redecorated, tried to make that bachelor pad like a home. So it's finally coming together 2 years later.
Yeah, it's not a trap house. It's a trap home.
Any other tips?
Just talk to people.
Cry if you want to.
Yeah, cry.
To your party.
Yeah, have some supportive friends and family.
Yeah,
Talk to your husband too. I feel like I was afraid to talk to Gil because I was like, he's going to be like, why? Like, you wanted to get married.
Yeah.
Why aren't you happy? But
You pressured me into this.
I was not afraid to talk to Matthew. Matthew wishes I was more afraid to speak to him.
He probably was like, you can keep some things to yourself. Did your mom not answer when you
He's like, call her again.
I bet she'll answer this time.
Just text her 911 and see what happens.
Oh my God, no. I can't text my parents at night. They would
Oh, no, I can't
fully
either.
wake up and freak.
Freak out.
they would be at
They
your
would call the
house.
cops. Mine would.
Goodness. Well, again, if you are post-wedding and you're feeling all the things, just know that it's normal.
Send us a DM.
Yeah.
We want to talk.
Yeah.
We're all very chatty.
Yeah. Follow, like, subscribe, rate, review.
And until next time.
Bye,
Until next
guys.
time.
Bye.
Ciao.